It's a little bit different, of course. When you go see a physician in the U.S., it seems like they're always in a rush. You know, that's what I find. And they are overwhelmed a lot of times, just too many people in and out the door. But it was talking to Dr. Perez on the phone. It was great because it was 9 o'clock in the morning when he called us, which was 6 o'clock in the morning here in Mexico. So he must have got pretty early to do that. And certainly was wide awake, I can say that. And he did a thorough explanation, answered all our questions. I had a bunch of them written down. And it took, probably about an hour and 20 minutes to go over the entire program. So when he was all done kind of going through it all, which there's quite a bit to talk about, I kind of laughed and I says, "Is that it? Are you done?" And he kind of giggled and said, "Yes." So, yeah, we were both really impressed with that. And you could just feel the compassion for his particular program he had. So I turned to Cher and says, "I'm convinced." And that was the end of that. Here we are. Okay. Originally, when we thought about an alternative treatment here, basically I did about a month search on the internet. Pretty much after I heard her diagnosis, she told me she did not wish to go along with the normal standard conventional method of chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery, which is basically what they told us in the U.S. That was their approach. So I decided, obviously she didn't want to do that, so I decided then to do an awful lot of searching on the internet, somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a day. Took me in a lot of different directions, of course, all the way between here and Germany, and I had a link, I noticed, I came back, and I noticed in Mexico that a lot of the programs that they had similar in Europe, which I had heard about, because I've obviously, there have been some famous movie stars who have used these approaches. I'm not going to mention their names here, but I had read about them and it intrigued me, and then I noticed a link from a German site which kind of put me here in Mexico. So when I investigated all the therapies, looking at that, figuring that that's something my wife would more likely wish to do other than the normal method. Experienced it. We're in a very nice neighborhood here in Mexico. The hospital is as clean as anyone I've ever been in America. And actually, to tell you the truth, it's cleaner. That's the way I look at it. And as far as the hospital, the food was great. So, in any case, as far as the therapy is concerned, as far as fear, I wouldn't fear coming here, really. I really wouldn't. I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. So, and the people were great. So, but my wife will explain to you her therapies and how they kind of work for her.
Okay, the reason why I chose this type of method was because conventional, I've seen too many people have passed on from doing it, and I decided that I wanted to try a different approach, and I wanted to do everything natural. And looking into this program here, I like the way they had the whole circle of not just the treatments itself, but it's a whole lifestyle. It's not just killing the cancer, it's making your life a better life so that you can control and keep the cancer away from you getting it back. Well, the compassion of the doctors, they all work together. There is a program where you just not have the doctors, but you have the nutritionist, a psychologist, and they all work together, and it's all for down the road for your recovery, and it's just a change of lifestyle. And it doesn't just take care of the cancer, it takes care of you as a person.
Yeah, I think too, the program that she's talking about overall, I mean, it's not like in the States, it's like, here it is, surgery, chemo, radiation, and it is what it is, and that's it, okay? When we heard this program, it really made more sense. I mean, if you think about it, first of all, you have a problem within your body that's attacking you, okay? So when we heard about it, it was like, okay, nutrition, that makes sense. building your immune system up, starting at the beginning, that's really your first step. That made sense. And then going along and saying, okay, your mind is certainly part of the whole setup, because you're in a case of fear when somebody tells you have cancer. Your brain kind of, certainly don't like to hear that, obviously. So they bring the psychologist to discuss that with you too. And the nutrition, of course, couples along with everything. So everything kind of goes in an orderly fashion from the very beginning. And I think as it went through those steps, I could, feel the way my wife felt, that even though she had some minor issues having this, I've been around cancer with my mom and everything else. It's a much better way to go. I mean,
And
no hair loss.
You don't feel any pain.